What is up, folks? Today I want to just show you guys a mod I got real quick for my MVSX Neo Geo. So you already got this cabinet, or any interest, you already know what it's all about. Yeah, it's a cool looking cabinet, slick design, got a coin door here. You got your left player and right player logos or emblems or whatever you want to call them. Got another little mini coin door. I guess that's for those people who don't buy the cabinet. For me, you got two coin doors. It's kind of weird. Little light up marquee. Thing's pretty nice. A little washed out, but it's cool. Yeah, though, if you have this cabinet, you know the design's pretty nice. You got the MVSX SNK Neo Geo logo on the side, and just a nice little cabinet. Got little screw hole covers, but yeah, here's a look at the control panel too. It looks pretty spot on from what I can remember from the big red cabinet that I used to have. Nice little clicky buttons. Little 8-way joystick, I guess. I don't know. I haven't really looked at it. It's got the LEDs to show like how many coins that would be, I guess, inserted for each player. Here's your volume knob. But yeah, all in all, a nice design. I really dig it. But let's get down to the nitty gritty and the whole reason for this video. I just wanted to look at this little mini coin door. I thought it was kind of weird just to have that and the big one. I understand this is cool enough if you have just the bar top only, but for me it doesn't work. But luckily, I found a place where I saw a video rather, and it took me to a place called Szabos Arcade. Now at Szabos you can get a couple of different things for this. I was mainly interested in this acrylic false memory card slot. This thing's pretty nice. It's basically just, a piece of acrylic printed memory card on the front, and the back you just take this off and just a little peel and stick action. But yeah, it'll go right here where the fake coin door is at. But first we'll have to get this fake coin door off, and I'll show you how to do that real quick. You can see this thing is just barely big enough to cover up the slot. You'll see all that in just a second. I'll show you once I get this off. All it takes to get this off is just simply taking out 4 screws. All you do is just pop these screw covers off. It's as easy as getting your nail behind it and pulling it right off. I think the old cabinets, you only had to take these front 3, but for this one you do actually have to take this 4th one out. Otherwise it's just gonna be loose in the front. So yeah, you can see that 4th one's holding the back end right there, and only the front's lifting up. So yeah, go ahead and pop this 4th one out here and do this on both sides. From there you can just grab the control panel and slide it toward you. It's laying on top of the cabinet, so there's no danger of it falling just yet. Do be careful, you got a ribbon cable that's connected to the control panel, and that's the only thing that's really holding this in here. All you do is just wiggle this out, simple as that. Drop your control panel on the floor. I'm using my waist because I'm recording with the other hand, but yeah, just grab this thing out. That's the only thing holding it. Just set it somewhere so we can get these screws out. Just set this on my recliner. You can see right here, there's only 2 screws holding this little coin door in. So yeah, we'll get those off and move on. A little trick to getting this thing out is just kind of holding one hand on the front of your coin door while you're backing the screw out. Otherwise it's just going to spin. Once you got those 2 screws out, just let gravity do the rest. You can just turn it over and it should pop right out, but yeah, just pops right out. Cute little mini coin door there. You could probably use this for another mini arcade project if you wanted to, but I'm just gonna set this aside. Save it for later in case I ever want to put it back together. I actually stuck my little screws in the coin door. That way I could just keep it all together. Like I said, just in case I ever want to put it back on. I don't see any reason why I would, but you never know. We'll set this aside. Let's bring the control panel back over. And all you gotta really do is just set it on top of the cabinet. This thing is designed pretty well. Fits together nice and flush. Let's just set this up here. I'm gonna use my big belly to push it in because I don't have a free hand. Just push it up and just a matter of lining your pins back up with your ribbon cable. Just wiggle that back in. Right away clean. When you get ready to slide this thing back up, your control panel forward, make sure you don't pinch your ribbon cable. Just slide it in there. Watch closely. Oh, it's not too bad. Just poke it down in there if you feel like it's gonna hit. And then I'm just gonna put a screw back in the side here to hold this for a second. Just make sure it's lined up. Looks good. Slap her in there. Just give a little hand tighten. And I probably need to say before you do this, before you put all your screws back in, you may want to power on. Just make sure those LEDs come on and your controller's working. Also, just hit a button. My first experience getting one of these in the mail, my ribbon cable wasn't hooked up at all and none of my buttons were working. They dropped my cabinet and destroyed it. But right out of the box I didn't notice all the beep and bangs on it, but I ended up sending it back and getting this one. But yeah, make sure you do that before you put all your screws back in. Make sure that thing's working. I'm just gonna get all my screws back in on both sides and then throw your screw cap covers back over. They snap on just as easy as they came off. Easy stuff. It's like this thing was made for modding. One more to go. And that's it. Now we're gonna look at covering this ugly hole up here. As you can see here with that coin door off, there's not a whole lot of room for error here. It does just cover it. So what I would suggest is making sure you get this up high enough, because you won't be able to see from the bottom if it's any of that raw wood exposed, but you'd see it easier from the top. So yeah, I would suggest lining it up top, and even if it shows at the bottom, you won't notice it. Let's get our Szabos arcades acrylic memory card thingy here, and we're just gonna peel this back off, expose the sticky. Make sure you're not pulling the sticky off. I don't know if you can, but just got to get this started here. This is going to be pretty dang sticky, folks, so make sure you line it up pretty well when you put it on there. Now, I was trying not to get too anal about this because that can be like really bad with this kind of stuff. So I did just want to put it up here and sort of just eyeball it. What I ended up doing was just kind of tacking the top up. So I just lined it up the best I could, like looking at the speakers. And if you actually look at the memory card slot, you can sort of, I guess, get the middle of the hole where the raw wood's exposed. Just get that sort of in between that memory card slot and push it up just high enough where you don't see the raw wood. It took me a few times, but I ended up just kind of eyeballing it really. Now you can bust out a level, tape measure. There's several ways to do this. I'm sure there's easy ways to do it. I'm just impatient, but like I said, what I really did was just kind of get it up high enough. Just tack the top on there. I don't want to press it all the way down yet, even though I did a couple times accidentally. Still just, it pulls off with a little bit of pressure. You can see that there's like a little gap in the bottom here where I just left the top stuck and not the bottom. After a few trial and errors, I did break out the tape measure. Looks like it's 4.5 inches from the acrylic over to the inside of the T-molding. And that's pretty close on each side. It's going to be right at 4.5 inches. I even went a step further after I barely tacked it on and measured from the bottom of the acrylic down to the left and right player. And it was pretty close on each side too. So that's just another way you can look at, see if it's straight. I think in the end, you're going to find an easier way to do this. And you don't have to rush it like I did, but I think it turned out pretty good, pretty dang close to being straight. And all in all, I'm super happy with this. I'm glad I got it. It makes it look a lot closer to the old stuff, or like the real original MVS cabinet. But yeah, man, pretty happy. You can go order yours from Szabos Arcades. And he also makes a marquee for this. I was thinking about contacting him to see if he could do a custom one sort of like this one, just a little bit more red instead of faded and washed out once it's lit up, because the Neo Geo one he does make looks way more red than this marquee does. All angles, I think it turned out pretty good. Looks nice and straight, and I would recommend getting one of these. I'm pretty happy with it, and I don't see me ever having to remove it. I went ahead and pressed it on down, and it looks good. Almost like a real memory card slot, but go get you one. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.